Well, you're on the right track. He said you need to find A, B, and C, right? So A is 1. What is the B term? -6. What about C? Huh? 2. Good. Somebody's paying attention. So now, what do I do? Well, what I do is I say x is equal to, somebody tell me the formula. You know it, you've been writing it down. What do I say next? -b, yep. It's b squared, but yeah, b is the next one. What else? It's -4, but good guess. 2a. Now he did that right off the top of his head. If you were writing this down on every example, you could just look at your notebook. Okay. So in the next line, I have x minus b, but b is -6. This is where somebody will make a mistake. They're going to put just -6, but it's really minus or negative -6. Plus or minus. Here's another place where people make mistakes. Put the negative in parentheses. So anytime you have a negative and you're inserting it to evaluate it, in other words, you're substituting that value in for whatever variable, put it in parentheses. So now I'm going to say -4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 2. Okay, all over 2 times a, which is 1. Now notice I'm taking my time writing out each single step. I'm not trying to combine steps. It's easier to do it that way. And it doesn't require a lot. Like when I'm done doing math, and you guys are in one math class. I teach several math classes. But my hand is not cramping or sore at the end of the day from writing a couple of extra steps. Okay. So I say x is equal to, what's the negative times the negative? Positive. So that becomes +6. Plus or minus, what is -6 squared? Okay, I heard somebody say negative and somebody said 36. Is it -36 or positive? It's not negative though, right? So look at this. -6 squared is the same as -6 times -6. What's a negative times negative? A positive. So it's a positive 36. Okay. And then what's -4 times 1 times 2? -8. Good. Good, good, good. 2 times 1 is 2. So then in the next line, I'm just going to say 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 8 is 28, right? All over 2. Now, I want to reduce that. To reduce a radical, I think in my head 2 squared equals 4, 3 squared equals 9, 4 squared equals 16. Now, I don't need to go any further because I think 4 times 7 equals 28. Well, I know that it does. So then what I can do with that is I can rewrite that in the next line. X equals 6 plus or minus the square root of 4 times the square root of 7 all over 2. In the next line, I could say x equals 6 plus or minus. What's the square root of 4? No, that's 4 squared. We got to think backwards. What number do I multiply by itself to get 4? 2. So that means I have 2 root 7. Now, I don't know if you guys caught on to this. I haven't really explicitly said this. I'm purposefully picking these numbers because I know that the square root of 4 equals 2. I know that the square root of 9 equals 3. So that's how I simplify it. I'm picking numbers, perfect squares, that divide evenly into these other numbers so that I can simplify. I can pull things out of the radical. So this is all over 2. In the next line, I say 6 plus or minus, 6 over 2 plus or minus 2 root 7 over 2. Now I can say, what's 6 divided by 2? 3. Plus or minus 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times root 7 is root 7. So I think that's the right answer. Let me see if I have that. 3 plus or minus root 7, that's this one, right? Now, how do I double check that with my calculator? Well, I know what A, B, and C are, so I can put on my calculator. So grab your calculators, turn your calculators on. I want to show you how to do this. See this button that says program? Hit program, and it's option number 1 should say quad form. Does it? Okay. Then hit enter. And it's going to say, it's asking you one more time, do you want to run the program titled quad form? Then you hit enter again. It immediately asks you for the value of A, just put 1. The value of B is -6. You got to use the negative sign. Don't use the minus sign. It's got to be the short one. And then C is 2. Now when I hit enter, it's going to give me these numbers. So how do I know if these numbers match my answer? This is my answer, and it gives me decimals. Well, I could plug in 3 plus or minus 7. So if I say 3 plus the square root of 7, and I hit enter, I get the first one. If I say 3 minus the square root of 7, I'll get the other answer. And that is it. Hello, this is Mr. Adams.